listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, team.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's America's Next Top Model After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's America's Next Top Model After Show.
Hi, AfterBuzz viewers and listeners. Thank us for doing. We're doing another after show for America's Next Top Model. Today we have Alexandra, also known as Alex Agro, with us. Hi, Alex.
Hi, guys.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you so much for being here. You know, I know it's been an amazing experience for you being on the show, and all of us love watching you on the show, and we're really sad that you were eliminated this week.
Thank you.
So to get into
it, come back.
Yes, we're hoping you're going to do great on the challenges. Actually, we know you're going to be doing great on the challenges, and we're going to see you back on the show. But I wanted to know a little bit more about you, and if you've had any experience, you know, with modeling or being in the entertainment industry. I know I read a fun fact about you, the fact that you appeared on the second season of Sweet Home Alabama.
Yes, I actually had done, you know, I've been pursuing school right now, or before the show I was just finishing my education, but I was interning up in New York City back and forth, and my dream forever was always to model. That was like always my main goal, and yeah, I was asked randomly to do that show. It was funny. It was a fun little show. It was a little something that I'd done, but it was nothing special, obviously, but it was definitely a fun experience in the entertainment industry for sure.
Awesome. So how did you feel you did overall?
I think I did great. I really don't think I would have changed anything. I had such an amazing experience, and I feel like I learned so much. And it was a huge dream of mine. I had wanted to do this for so long, and I remember watching the show when I was like a little kid and dreaming of being on it. And just the experience, I mean, the fans absolutely loved me through the whole thing, and so I feel like I pleased them. So that was an amazing part of the show.
And one thing that we do need to ask is the hair color change. How did you feel about the transformation? The transformation with the hair color?
Oh my gosh, I was surprised they didn't just shave my head off or something. You know, watching this show, everyone always has the most crazy. They always have the most insane hair changes. Always like shaving someone's head, dyeing it bleach blonde, like just crazy stuff. So I was expecting that. I was surprised that they didn't like shave my head or something even more traumatic. But I loved it. At first, I didn't know how I was gonna feel about it, but I think Tyra was right. It definitely like, brought my look to another level. And because in photographs, I think before I photographed a little more all-American, and then now I think it's a little more exotic, and that's what Tyra's point was, I guess, for the whole thing. So I definitely think it was a good change. It took a while to get used to. I was born blonde. It's definitely really different.
So do you still have the blonde, or did you go back to the blonde, or you still have the brunette?
No, I still have brown hair, so I kept the brown. So and my blonde roots growing all the time. I have to go get them touched up. My hair is naturally so blonde. It's just so different. You know, I think it looks good. It like makes my eyes stand out more. It definitely is a different look, and I think it's a lot better, a lot more edgy for sure.
Awesome. So I want to get into the house drama. I mean, we had a couple of contestants coming on the show, and we just keep on talking about this, but it's so awesome to get different point of views on what was really going on and what the viewers got to see and didn't get to see. But I think what upset most people with the last episode was the whole Jordan taking up 5 more minutes than what she should have. How did you feel about that? Because the viewers got to see, you and your reaction and, about your mom and how you couldn't talk to her.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I guess what everyone has to understand at home is that we never hardly got to talk to our family. So, like, the extra 5 minutes that someone took up of phone time is, like, everything to us because we never got to talk to our family. So when we did get to talk to our family, it was such a huge deal, and it honestly was, like, the biggest trigger of everyone going absolutely insane and getting in a massive fight because it was such a huge deal because everyone missed their family so much. So, I mean, it definitely was a little bothersome, but I tried to kind of stay out of it, but it definitely bothered me because I really wanted to talk to my mom. I really wanted to talk to my boyfriend. It's like, and by the time we were done with Jordan talking for so long, it's like, I think I ended up on the phone maybe for 2 minutes, if that. And it was like, hi, how are you? And I don't know. I mean, I think just even seeing now, we didn't even really get to see exactly what she was talking about. But now it's kind of even more annoying that you're sitting there like arguing on the phone with your boyfriend while everyone else has like significant things to actually discuss in their lives.
Yes, definitely. I think that we're a little bit disturbed about that, the fact that, it was just not distributed fairly as it should have been.
No, not at all. Totally.
So I want to get into the challenge and then later on to the actual commercials that you guys were shooting. With this episode, you guys had celebrity blogger Perez Hilton coming on the show, and you guys had to get in front of a camera, and you guys had to ask questions to people. It was a little unnerving, and for some people you could see with their reaction and the questions, and some people were, choosing not to ask the questions that they were told. How did you feel about the challenge? How did you feel you did with the challenge?
For me, I just feel, honestly, I was so excited about this challenge at first because I've always wanted to, I thought it would be so fun to be a fashion correspondent. I've actually always wanted to do that, but I feel once it actually started happening, and I don't know, Perez Hilton kind of created his career off bullying people and hurting people's feelings and just picking people. That's what he does. Everyone knows that's Perez Hilton. That's how he's created his career. And when we were asked to say some things, I just felt super uncomfortable with some of the things he was asking. And honestly, a lot of it didn't even make it on TV. I'm assuming because it was just too much and too over the top, and I felt super uncomfortable. I mean, if it was this young guy that I was interviewing came up thinking he was just having a fun interview with, one of the girls from America's Next Top Model, and it kind of turned into really picking on him and really trying to hurt him, and I just felt super uncomfortable. I just I don't feel comfortable making it to the top by hurting other people or putting people down. And I think with bullying and all that stuff being so significant right now in our culture, I think that it was wrong, and I didn't agree with it at all. And if I didn't get as good of a score because of that, then I'm fine with it.
And that's exactly what we were wondering as well, because we didn't get to see a lot of the interviews that some of you guys did. I know we had Don in the studio on Sunday, and he was, saying the same thing, like how his interview didn't make it on camera, and we were just wondering why did we get to see some and we didn't get to see other people. But now it makes sense because it was a little bit embarrassing for some people to ask the questions, and I know it upset the people you guys were asking as well. So
totally. I have the guy that I interviewed walked off of the stage and told me that his wife was going to kick my ass and was just so mad. And I didn't even say a lot of the stuff that Perez, it was insane. And I didn't even say a lot of the stuff Perez was even asking me to say. I mean, the stuff was just wrong in any respect. I mean, I don't think that, I understand why they didn't air it because Perez just kind of took it to a new level that was just totally inappropriate. And I guess as these interviews with the people, everyone agrees.
Do you think it was a fair challenge? Because we keep on seeing Tyra, redoing herself over and over again, and she brings in new challenges and new tasks in the competition, and we critique it and we look at it, and sometimes we're like, that's not really modeling. Because
no, I agree.
How did you guys feel about the contest? I mean, we had the disc spinning last, episode. We had this challenge this episode. We're just like, what is going on? We want to see some pictures.
I mean, I agree, and that's the thing. I mean, to be completely honest, I've watched this show forever, and I do agree with you. I think that was a big part of it. It's funny. I mean, I think a lot of the fans are seeing that, and I did agree with that, and I had a hard time. But I mean, I was thinking, you know what, if I'm going to get eliminated on America's Next Top Model, a show that I've wanted to be on forever, and it's going to be off of me not being able to play a guy as great as everyone wanted me to play, you know, as I'm making out with some 6'5" woman man. I mean, I'm pretty content with being eliminated off that, you know, because at least it wasn't off. I don't really know if that shows my abilities in any type of ability, you know what I mean? So I do agree with you, and I do understand that, and I think overall in the house that was a huge deal this episode, because I'm not quite sure anyone felt that, you know, it was a representation of us at all, like a good representation of us being models and in general, you know.
How did you guys feel about the social media scores and that being tied into elimination and actually being elected for the next round? Do you think that
How did I feel about social media?
Do you think that helped you guys, or for some of you guys that hurt you because, you know, you could depend on social media, but it felt more like a popularity contest versus the people that were actually doing good on the show?
I mean, you know what? It's funny because I felt like a lot of the I think a lot of the times the fans actually were more truthful and more, they were just straight off of the photo, whereas somebody else, like, you know, they didn't see the challenges, they didn't see anything else going on. And I mean, for me, my social media was always super high, and the social media always loved me. So for me, it was beneficial, but I know some people's social media didn't like as much as others. But as far as I was concerned, I was happy with it. At first, I didn't know what to expect. But I mean, every week my social media scores were always one of the highest scores out of anyone. So I was happy about it, and I thought it was a cool way to involve the fans this season, and I think it worked out pretty well.
Okay. Now, to get down to the nitty-gritty of the house love sparks that were going on.
Yeah.
Is there any house drama or any, did anyone hook up? Did anyone do anything? We all want to know because we see, you know, we see Phil and we see Gianna on there constantly, but we don't know how far it went.
I mean, I think that's a funny question, because I want to know the same thing. I mean, I think they were so, you know, Phil and Gianna were so secretive about their little romance, because Phil had a girlfriend who was trying to play the good guy, and, you know, I think he just didn't want it to make camera, and I think that they were trying to be sneaky about it, but it didn't necessarily work, because you kind of see it starts to come out. But I don't really know. I think I mean, I would think that at some point something happened, but I'm not sure. I have no proof.
I actually personally thought that she was going to be eliminated, just because you see her, you know, throughout the whole episode concentrating more on him versus the challenges. And that was a reality check for her, because, you know, the viewers got to see when it's down to the two of you for elimination, she looks over at Phil, and I was just like, he didn't feel bad at all.
I mean, that's the thing is that he doesn't actually. It's such a distraction, and honestly, it could have been a weapon in his eyes, and he might have been doing that intentionally. Because I went on the show, and I have a boyfriend, and I'm super happy in my relationship, and I think I was benefiting from that because I wasn't getting involved like some of these girls. And I personally thought it was sad. It's like, focus on what you're here for, because if you don't, you're going to get screwed. These guys don't care about you. These people all want to win. You know, in reality, everyone's going to step on everyone else there, because we all want the same thing. No one is there to be friends. You end up making friends because you're forced to be with these people for so long. You have no one else to lean on. But in reality, you all want what each other wants. You know what I mean? You're all in a competition. So really, I agree with you. I think a lot of people might have thought that, because she was totally letting herself get sidetracked by this guy, when really I doubt he had any best interest for her. You know what I mean?
Was there any sparks between you and Mike?
Oh, my God, no. I love Mike. He's such a good guy. He's so funny. No. Oh, my God, I think I died the night that he was drinking alcohol all night. I was hysterically laughing. He is so funny. He's just so over the top and hilarious. He just does. He's probably one of my favorite guys in the show. But no, I'm like so happy in my relationship, and I feel like I'm lucky to have an amazing relationship right now because it keeps me away from all these model boys who are nothing but trouble. Let me tell you, nothing but trouble.
Definitely, we could see that.
Yeah,
we got
true. Trust me, they're not good to get involved with. I'm glad that I never did.
We got to see you and Mike working, in a couple of shoots together. So who was your favorite person to work with, and who was your least favorite person to work with?
I mean, my thing with Mike was just, like, I love him. He's fun, but, he's like an ice cream truck man who Tyra found, who she created him. And it was, it's saying it in the nicest way. It's just, he knew he didn't know what he was doing. You know what I mean? He's like, and it was kind of hard to get that vibe going with him because I think he was a little bit nervous. And, I mean, in all honesty, I think it was a little unfair. I think he should have gotten a little more mentoring because he doesn't know what he was doing, how he just got over an ice cream truck and he threw him in a photo shoot. We need to learn. You need to learn how to do what you're doing. You need to learn how to model. And it was kind of hard to work with because he just, like, the poses were a little awkward. And my favorite person to work with was Rob Evans because I got to do that photo shoot with him. And man, it's crazy the difference that you see in modeling with a professional man who's a supermodel compared to modeling with, say, Mike. Because if you see in the one episode where I'm shooting with Rob Evans, he's showing Dawn how to work with me. So me and him he took like a good 5 minutes to show the example, and me and Rob are modeling together. And it's crazy the way he like grabs you, or the way he looks at you, and the way you actually feel like you're connected with him, and you feel how the photo is actually supposed to go. You know what I mean? You feel how you're supposed to have that connection and for people to be able to see it. Whereas I think some of these other guys, it was a little hard because we're all new. Most of us are newer, you know what I mean, at this whole experience.
Definitely. And I know, looking at you guys on camera, we don't see a lot of direction being given by anyone.
No.
Not the photographer, no one. And the pictures that they choose, which we get to see, I feel like are not always the best shots. Do you think they're...
I mean, you know what? And I will say, I agree with that. And I will say that I think that's an ongoing thing that I think I've watched. It's funny because I've watched America's Next Top Model since I was little. And every time, and this is why I never said anything in panel, every time someone comes out and says, that's not my best photo, it sounds like an excuse to the audience. And it does. And that's, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I watched it forever, and I was like, that girl's just making excuses. Like, why did they not pick the best photo? But, I mean, I agree sometimes. I mean, like the trailer park shoot, there's 2 people on the photo that they have to make look good. You know what I mean? And in that photo, if you watch the photo shoot, the only time I did that pose with my butt, with the part that they didn't like, was that one shot. And if you try and capture the shot with your eyes just watching the shoot, I'm like, wait, there's so many other good shots there.
And
but
that's
I mean,
exactly...
I think... What?
Go ahead.
No, that's exactly why. Yeah, no, I know. I think that I do see it that way, but you never want people to think you're making an excuse, or you're trying to make yourself sound like, well, I had a better shot, and Tyra doesn't know what she's talking about. But I think everyone had that thought 1 or 2 times, and a lot of the time we did do group shots. We'd have a guy and a girl, and that's life. There's always going to be the shot where one of you looks better. How do they choose, a shot where both of you look amazing? And that was a huge thing with the whole group of people in general, because everyone's like, well, wait a minute, this is unfair. Like, there's 2 people that have to look good here. What if I had an amazing shot, but Mike looked like complete crap? It's like they have to decide, and I think that's probably a huge thing in modeling anyways in general,
Definitely. And I think that's actually one of the shots that Mike doesn't look so good as well. So we were just wondering, why is that one chosen? Because that's supposed to be the best shot, but from what they said, with the pouch in front of you, and Mike just doesn't look like what he's doing. I'm like, how can that be the best shot? Because we get to see back, we get to be backstage, and we look at you guys, posing and moving around. So we see that there were better pictures. So it just didn't make sense. But I'm sure, our viewers and our listeners have comments. And, for anyone that's listening or watching us right now, we encourage you guys to go on to iTunes and also YouTube, rate, comment, give us 5 stars. We want to know your opinion. We want to know what you guys think. We also want you guys to weigh in on this issue. If you guys think that the photos are actually the best ones that are chosen every week, or do you guys think they're manipulating to send people home? So we read your comments.
I think that's a big thing everyone needs to make. I agree. I think make sure you guys do comment, because I think that's a big thing. My family, everyone, this is a topic of conversation by everyone, and I think everyone's really scared to say it because no one wants to sound like they're the ones that are making excuses for their elimination or making excuses for anything. And I think that's cool that you brought it out, because I think it's a thing that everyone's scared to talk about, to be honest.
Because, we get to see it, and I think it's not fair, because I actually love this picture of you. And, I'm not a professional photographer, or, I'm not Tyra, so I don't really get to see the details like she does. But at the same time, it's, it's supposed to be pleasing for the audience and the social media, and we love the picture, except Mike, but...
You had totally. I think his pose could have been a little bit different. I agree. That's hilarious. No, I agree. I mean, I think it is a big. I came home and I did a lot of photo shoots even being home, and I feel like a lot of the photos at home, the first shoot I did was like 100 times better, a lot of the photos, and I do wonder sometimes, and I agree with you, and it is a big thing, and I just think that it is something that a lot of people are just scared to say. So I'm glad that you did bring it up, because I'm curious what people say, and I have gotten a lot of people writing me, and a lot of letters, and a lot of friends, and people just saying that it really doesn't make sense. So I think it is a controversial thing that is happening right now, and I'm glad you brought it up.
So to move on to the challenge, you were paired up with Corey, and you guys had to act in the business. You guys were the business couple, and we got to see the fragrance commercial. And how did you feel working with Corey? Just because he just felt like it was so natural for him. And seeing you out of your element,
totally,
and having to be something that you're not.
Yeah, it's funny because this challenge, I mean, honestly, I was excited. I was like, these challenges are going to be fun. I can be a fashion correspondent. I can act. And I don't know, this is just very out of my element because, Corey, this is what he does on the weekend. He's like, he is a drag queen. That is his thing. He loves wearing makeup and he loves dressing up. And he said right when he came on, this is what I'm meant to do. So, I was totally out of my element making out with this 6'2" man, woman thing, whatever you want to call him in this instance. And I'm like, never done this before. But that's not an excuse. It was just, very different for me. And I was trying to grasp it. I think my problem, let me be honest, I think my problem with this one is if I could have been had a little more fun with it and been like, the thug or the basketball player or like the surfer dude, I think I would have been a little more, I think it would have been a little easier for me, but they kept wanting me to be the businessman, which I understood what they wanted, but they wanted me to be conservative and walk like a business. I was just having a hard time grasping that because it wasn't as dramatic and as fun, because you saw the guys and is that really how a guy acts? A girl acts, obviously they're so over the top. So I think the businessman thing was a little bit, I don't know, but some people liked it. I got a lot of good feedback, and some people, it's mixed feelings. I don't know. Kelly Castrone loved it. She gave me an 8 on it. So I don't know. I obviously didn't do as well as I could have, I guess.
I felt like you were more at a disadvantage just because Corey was overshadowing you. Totally. Because
which
it
I think
was
everyone
so natural for him.
Totally. I mean, how do you compete? Corey's fabulous. He's like a natural woman. I'm like, okay, you're a better woman than me right now. Like, what the hell? You know, it was a hard thing to compete against. I mean, that's comparing, you know. I mean, that's even like in the photo shoots with Alexandra Argo, like some of the girls that were competing with her in those photos. It's like she's been doing this her whole life. She's a supermodel. You know, then I'm in this, you know, this is totally Corey's element, and I'm, you know, competing against him. So I get it. I mean, sometimes when you're put against someone who, you know, that's what they do, it's a little hard.
I personally thought that Nina and Jordan should have been on the bottom two, just because, you know, I feel like they got the worst critiques from the judges.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
It was surprising to see you, you know, in the bottom two, because I think it played. You guys played off of one another, you and Corey, just because he is that, you know, powerful woman, and you were like serious and, you know, in the role, and you know, the judges told Nina like the way she was walking, and it was like so boxed and squared, like, what are you doing? And, you know, for Jordan to make a comment like she doesn't know what gothic is. As the viewers were listening to her and like, are you serious? And you're modeling, you know. So that was a little bit unfair. But what can we expect, you know, from you? What can the viewers expect? Are you doing any big projects? Are you working on something? Where can they find you?
Absolutely. Oh, my gosh. I mean, I would everyone to follow me, obviously, on my Twitter and my Instagram and my Facebook. I've been updating and letting everyone know. And I also have some big things coming up, some awesome surprises for everyone. I'm working my butt off. And you know what? Regardless, even if I had won the show, this is just the beginning for me. I do not think this is, you know, this is not the end. This is just a stepping stone. This is all just a start for me. I mean, it's such a huge platform and an amazing experience. And I feel like I learned so much, but this is just the start of so much, and I hope my fans stick with me and keep coming, because I have some huge surprises and fun things coming up, and I've been taking acting classes, I've been continuously modeling, and I've just taking everything that I learned from Tyra in the show and just learned about myself and what I want and I don't want, and I'm just pushing forward, and you guys can definitely look forward to seeing a ton of modeling and even acting from me now, and so I'm just super excited. I'm excited about the future, and I feel so grateful for the show, and regardless of the little, you know, bumps in the road on it, I feel like it was a great experience, and I'm just looking forward to, for now, all my fans to be able to follow me into my next ventures.
Awesome, and I'm sure your fans will love to see you on the big screen with the new projects you have coming up. And we'll definitely be following you at AfterBuzz as well. And hopefully, you know, if you're ever in town in LA, you could stop by the studio. We would love to have you on the show in person and get to meet you.
Yes, of course, I would love to. I love LA, so I'll be out there, and I'd love to come in. I'll definitely let you guys know. I'll get your contact information.
Awesome. So, Alex, thank you so much for coming on. You know, everyone, make sure you guys go ahead and listen to the interview. Log on to YouTube, watch it. Alex is amazing, even though she's eliminated, but we'll be seeing more of her on the big screen. And, you know, I'm Emma Kay. You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at RealEmmaK. And thank you so much, Alex, for coming in.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bye, guys.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.